Hey Chickadees, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a fun little video, and I'm sorry if it's echoey in here. It's just me in today. Yeah, there's no one else to absorb the sound, so I thought we'd do a little fun video of going through my stash. This one is my main fabric, so it's actually a relatively small stash, but we'll go through it and I'll tell you, what the fabrics are and if I've got plans for them. So on top, this is one of my project bags, and this has the Iron Man corset, if I am correct. So it's all cut out, it's just waiting to be put together, and I think that might be this month that I've got to put it together actually. So I'll be getting on with that one soon. Then we have some leftover ivory Dupioni silk from a bolero I made a friend years and years ago, and this is going to become a corset. I want to hack the Silverado corset to have some cording panels in it around the hips, and I want to then test that cycling to see if that's any good. Next we have just some off-white creamy cotton. This is from an old bedsheet. I think this one is polycotton, and I got this from a place I volunteer at, and everyone donated loads and loads of stuff. There were bags of fabric, so they were just like, oh, go through it, take what you want, and I got so much good stuff. I got an Egyptian cotton bedsheet as well. I think I might have some of that left in here somewhere, but that's quite sturdy, and I made my Worth inspired petticoat out of that. This is I think it's some polyester Dupion look kind of fabric. It frays terribly. If you watched my studio tour, you know I'm making my Silverado out of this, and it frays, and no matter how much you hoover, you just have to keep hoovering. Then we have a bag. This is some Christmas stock that I need to make up. I think it's wallets and stuff in there. Then we have this fabric here. A lot of this fabric I actually got from my mum when she was cleaning out her stash, and a lot of it is kind of upholstery or Laura Ashley kind of fabric. And this fabric is really pretty, but I put it on eBay and no one wanted it, so it's gone back in my stash. But I'm thinking of making a couple of corsets out of it because it's a really nice sturdy upholstery fabric, and I think corsets would look rather pretty with it. Next up we have some, I don't know what this is actually. I know it's old, I know that. It's just some black fabric. Probably just going to use that for lining or accents or something. Then we have another project bag. In here, I can't actually remember what's in here, but let's have a look. So this is lots of biggish pieces, and that's for more Christmas stock. So pouches, bags, little things like that, which I want to make up for the Christmas fairs this year. That's going to be a new product for this year. So that's where most of my big scraps go, towards the wallets and pouches and things I make for Christmas. This fabric here is a lovely polka dot cotton. It's really thin, and this one I also got from my mum. I've made a corset out of it, but obviously I interfaced it. but it's just really light and flowy. So I might make something nice. I might make a blouse if I have enough, actually. I might make a blouse out of it for work. That'll be a nice idea. See, it's useful, and it's already interfaced so I can do the cuffs and the collars. It's useful doing this video. I get ideas of what to do. Just an empty project bag out of some leftover red velvet. This is scraps of the jersey I made my underwear out of. Not sure why it's in here. I'm sure I'll find a use for it. It might just become crotches. This is some more fabric that I got from my mum. It's a gorgeous red taffeta, but I haven't really had anything to make out of it. It's that kind of fabric that you think you need to make a nice ball gown or something out of it, but I never go out to balls or anything like that, so I'm not actually sure what I want to make from that. This is some faux leather. Now, I've used faux leather in lots of different projects. My very first corset that I made, the Blind Mag corset, was made out of this faux leather, and I've got loads of it left. And it's quite useful for random homewares and things like that. It does have a slight bit of stretch to it, but that just lives in my stash. This is some acetate lining fabric in the paisley. This can be found everywhere. This was from Fabricland, but I have also ordered it off Minerva Crafts, and this was used for my Victorian inspired waistcoat that I made, and I made an insert for it, and I had to buy an extra metre for the waistcoat because I didn't have quite enough. So now I'm left with a ½ metre of it, and I'm not sure what to do with it. It might just go into linings, pouches, bow ties, things like that, but that'll stay there. And that's just a random scrap of it, so keep them together. Got some power mesh. I used this in a corset for a commission. She wanted a kind of breathable, nice mesh corset. I used a stronger mesh for like the fashion fabric, but I felt that it was a bit scratchy on the back with just the one layer, so I ordered some power mesh just to use as a lining to make it a bit softer. It's really nice stuff, really soft actually, and stretchy enough but not too stretchy. So now I'm left with kind of ½ metre, maybe a bit more, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. So that can live there. These are scraps of cotton twill. I might put that in my corset bag because twill is a really nice fabric. This I used on the boning, for the boning channels for the corset I just mentioned with the power mesh or power net. These were the boning channels, so I'm probably going to stick that in my corset bag. This fabric is one I got from my mum. It's a gorgeous, ornate, really heavy, well not really heavy, but heavy weight upholstery-ish fabric. I've made a dress out of it, and I have enough here for a skirt. I think I have this fabric available on my Etsy to use as a skirt or a corset, but it's really, really, really pretty, really ornate. Again, a fabric I got from my mum. This is Laura Ashley as far as I know. Let's have a look. Doobie-doo. Should say, yeah, Laura Ashley. Again, it's an upholstery fabric, but this is really, really pretty, and this is going to be a waistcoat corset? No, this is going to be my Simplicity and American Duchess corset, these stays that I showed you in my fabric haul. And if you haven't seen that, I'll put a card up the top and a link in the down bar. So I'm going to make the stays out of this because I think that would just be so romantic and so gorgeous. This fabric here is the one I'm going to make the waistcoat corset out of, and it's so delicate. Just these little tiny blue flowers is just so pretty. Again, it's a woven upholstery fabric. It's not as canvassy as the last one, but it's very thick, so it'll be really sturdy. This one, it's very pretty. This is the bulk of that red taffeta that I showed you earlier. Again, I have nothing really to make with it, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's so, I love taffeta. I know it's like so 80s, the kind of big froofy prom dresses that are just layers and layers of taffeta, but it's so nice. This is a green version of that, or just a green taffeta. It's shot with this like yellowy lime colour, and then it's kind of a dark olive green, but this is really pretty. This I was actually going to make a dress for Gabardashery for her sew my outfit for my concert or whatever, but I just never got round to it. So it might become a dress. I think it would be a really nice summer sleeveless dress for this. Next, ooh, give it a shake. I've had velvet in this, so velvet kind of molts. This is just a plain yellow cotton. It's the, you can get it on both Minerva Craft and Calico Laine. This is just the plain cotton that is just a really nice basic that you can get from Calico Laine. I'll link the fabric down below, because if you're looking for something just nice and basic, this is really good quality for that. Now these two I'll do together because they're the same type of fabric. They are a stretch cotton. It's a stretch sateen. Only one side is shiny. I've got them folded the wrong way. These are the fabrics I used for my Iron Man corset that I showed you at the beginning. Let's see if I can get the shine out. So one side is matte and one side is shiny. I hope you can see that. And one's just a really nice deep burgundy red and the other one is a bright yellow. I'm going to make a matching skirt to go with the corset, just like a really short gathered skirt, panelled, to use the rest of these fabrics up. Ooh. Give it a shake. You always find that threads and things just sink to the bottom. This is just more odds. This fabric I've had for a while. I think it was from my mum again, and it's just really, put that one down, just this really nice cut out or kind of flocked net fabric. I don't have a lot of it, so that might go into my pouch making bag. I think that'll be nice for some accents, or leave it for some accents for a blouse or something. This is just an iris cotton. This is the first cotton, this is the basic cotton from Calico Laine that I was talking about. This is the first colour I ever bought. I usually say I don't keep anything in my stash that I can't make a bodice out of. So if it's big enough to make a bodice, then I'll put it in my stash. So I've got some really long bits here. They're not particularly wide, but they're really long. So I can still make stuff out of this. But if I haven't made anything in about a year, I might stick it in my pouch bag. And then the last thing, because I'm not going to go through this bag here because it's just leather scraps that I was given by James. And so the last thing in here is just some felt that was left over from something James made, I think. It was something to do with one of his costumes, and that just sits in the bottom hanging out whenever we need felt again. So actually I don't have that much stuff in my stash. I have another bag, another stash bag for quilts. That's got a lot more of the Laura Ashley kind of upholstery fabric in. That is not really me, or I don't see clothes being made out of. That's it for this video. I'll put all the useful links down below where I got some of these fabrics from. And if you want to go down there and check that out whilst you're there, if you want to like, comment and subscribe, that'd be lovely. And I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.